All right, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Boudreaux. Bloody Mary mix, margarita mix. Very, very grateful to all of you. Met so many of you. Mama. Home Depot, never heard of it. So many of you have gone, bought some Boudreaux or ordered it online, and you sent me pictures. So I'm very, very grateful. Like you've posted, pictures with your Boudreaux or sent me messages with it. Very, very grateful, man. That's a big help. So obviously, we help them grow. They help us do Morning Scone. It's a symbiotic relationship there. Let's say some good mornings here on this Monday. Somebody's gonna kiss the Monday. Ronnie Dugas, Chris Merrill, Tim Davis, Eric Goodrich. My pops is watching. What's up, Dad? Rusty Seditall, Lori Prophet, Trey Dykes, Mike Sylvester, Mark Vitanovich. I'm going with Vitanovich unless you tell me otherwise, Mark. I think the C is silent. And I think I have the emphasis on the proper syllable. Tyler Landry, good morning. Jonathan Frugier. How about them Saints, y'all? Wow. That was overwhelming. 51 points, and it could have been 1,000,000 if they wanted it to be. I stopped actually paying attention to plays in the game because it was or you're trying to remember because it just didn't matter. There was a point in that game yesterday. Saints get the ball 13 plays, score. They're a machine. But then Cincinnati got the ball and went down and scored, tied at 7. Saints get the ball back, they go back and score. So it's 14-7. And Cincinnati had the ball and they were driving. And this is why Saints run defense, man. 3rd and 3, Cincinnati hands it off to Mixon. Mixon gets popped by Sheldon Rankins. He's short by 1.5 yards. So it's 4th and a long one. And Cincy was going to go for it. And instead, Tyler Eifert not playing, their tight end who was playing, false starts. So now it's 4th and 6. So they punt. Saints get the ball back. It was over. I mean, at that point, I don't think I paid attention to anything else the rest of the game. I might have even fallen asleep in the 4th quarter. I might have. I mean, Saturday was a long day. I'm not saying I did. I'm not saying I didn't. I might have. All done. All done. Oh, my truck. Oh, yeah, someone else did it this evening in his truck. True. See for Drew in his truck. Very true. See for Drew in his truck. See for Drew in his truck. Aight. So you guys got questions, comments. Remember Monday morning meeting, so I got about 25 minutes or so we'll rock here. Everett Himmel, good morning. Colby Hester, Ben Clark, what's up? John Capone, Thomas Marion, Trivia Carter, Andrew Bayer, Ronnie Dugas, good morning. Joseph Roy, Mike, what's up, Uncle Mike? Tim Saunier, Raza Shah, good morning. Stephen Johnson. Yes, Tim Davis said, good morning, Matt. And the star of the show, Drew. Drew's in there. He's watching Classical Baby, the poetry show. Ever since he was a little bitty, he liked Classical Baby. Even when he was in the hospital, we'd show him that, and kind of very soothing. There's a lot of days, man, where my dreams were my sleep was interrupted because I could hear the Classical Baby. Dun 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 dun. Anyway. Randy Quinn, good morning. Biology terminology. Don't know what that means. Mark Bayard from Tampa, what's up, dude? Corey Gotro, Drew Show with special guest Papa Scone. I think my dad is probably Papa Scone, but maybe it does work that way as well. And I'm totally cool with this being the Drew Show, by the way. John Capone found some Whistle Pig, going to give it a try. Very nice, John. Did you get the 10-year, the 12, 15, the Black Prince, Farm Stock Rye? What'd you go for? If it's sort of the, hang on. Here. You can tell I'm stocked. 10-year, 12 years of red label. 15 years of blue label. This stuff is the 10-year. The 12 is magnificent, but it's a little more expensive, probably like $115, $120. This is about $75, and you can never go wrong with that for the value. Yeah, just my opinion on. If you like rye, that's if you like rye. And the fun part about both of those is I didn't buy either of them. The 10-year, I won off a guy. Remember you may not remember this. The beginning of this year, a listener bet me that LSU would not allow 10 points to Miami. Well, they did, so I won that off of him. And then the red label, I won off of Mac Chiuili from Traction because we have our bourbon bet every year with the Yankees and the Cubs. So whichever team wins more games over the course of the regular season, loser has to buy the other one a bottle of whatever bottle of booze that he wants. So I got both those, bumming them off of people with bets. Trey Dykes, good morning. Monday morning, Matt Moscona, 4 M's. Keith Rosenbach, good morning, everybody. Nancy, Saints were awesome. They were. Trivia said, who dat? Cole Piers, what's up? Brian Ropebear, Jason Hatcher, let's see. Get some of y'all's questions here. Best team in the NFL? I think so. I mean, the Patriots always kind of worry you. All right, let's just stay with NFC. The only team in the NFC that really could have challenged would have been the Rams, and you beat them last week in your own building, and quite honestly, it shouldn't have been as close as it was. I mean, it was. You let down the second half, and they rallied, but you still beat them. And Rams have looked vulnerable, man. They looked vulnerable yesterday to Seattle. Seahawks had the ball with a chance to go win that game at the end. 36-31 ended up being the final. But that Packers had a chance to beat them too. Rams have looked vulnerable. The Saints look like a machine. And then you always kind of just worry, AFC. You always worry about the Patriots. I mean, I look at Kansas City and I get what they're doing offensively, and how good Pat Mahomes has been. I just seen it before with Kansas City, y'all. Oh, I'm gonna hit the share button. I'm gonna encourage y'all to do the same if you haven't yet. I've just seen it before, right, with Kansas City. So with Andy Reid's teams, to know how that's going to go for them in the postseason. New England's the one you always worry about because it's New England, and I mean they lost to Tennessee yesterday, and they just don't look as explosive as they have. I mean, I'm not putting them on life support because they're still New England. There's until proven otherwise, but I think the Saints are the best team in the NFL as of now. Through week 10, the Saints are the best team in the NFL, and it's not particularly even it's not particularly close. Carolina had been just a game behind the Saints, and they got pummeled, so I was thrilled to see that. Yeah, man. Saints are the best team in the NFL. And then you got some LSU hoops. Tomorrow against Memphis. That's going to be fun. Man, I'm excited to see what LSU does tomorrow. Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers coming to the PMAC. That's going to be a fun day, man. And then LSU football plays Rice. Oh, look who's here. What? Who?
Mobert.
Did you say Mobert? Who?
Marsha.
Oh, music show. We learned that new. So, Classical Baby has the music show, the poetry show, the dance show, the lullaby show, and he's watched them his whole life, like literally, like as I mentioned, since he was in the hospital, he's watched those Classical Baby episodes. But he's just now saying, my show is music show, and he actually says poetry. He says like poetry, like the fact that kid can say poetry is. Y'all, I know a lot of y'all noticed over the last couple of months, verbally, he is just. We're at the store last night. The grocery. There's a grocery down the street we go to a lot. Just because they're around the corner. And one of the cashiers who's seen him, his whole life. I had him in a stroller. We kind of pulled up to the register, and he goes, "Hi," and she was like, "I've never heard him say hi." I was like, "Oh, over the last 2 months, he's just taken off, so verbally. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. Corey Kaye, when will we see a better offense from LSU? 24 points, 1/2, 0 in the second half. You will see a better offense from LSU whenever Ed Orgeron decides that he is going to hire a modern offensive coordinator and leave him alone, much in the way he does Dave Aranda defensively, which you thought he had done with Matt Canada last year, but then he wouldn't leave him alone. Or whenever Ed's time as the head coach ends and the next guy comes in and you hope he might be able to do it. That's about it. But I'm just, after watching this for 10 years now, regardless of quarterback, offensive coordinator, and now head coach, I just have no reason to believe it's going to change. And yeah, I get it. I am completely jaded. I get it. That's super negative, and I understand that. But it's the fool me once thing, right? Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I've been watching this crap for 10 years. I just don't expect anything different. I just don't. LSU's going to play great defense. They're going to protect the football on offense, be serviceable, try to play field position, and as a result, you're going to end up in some ugly games like that. Like Saturday, just what it is. Let's see. Mickey Trish says, one thing that consistently gets under my skin, national guys always showcasing the Cowboys and others just to sliding the NFL's best team, no respect for the Saints. So, all right, the Saints have played, like they mentioned yesterday, this was the first time they played it at noon, or one Eastern game in more than a month. Because they've been playing prime time and they've been flexed to 3 o'clock. Next week is flexed to 3 o'clock. They got 2 Thursday night games coming up as well, like back-to-back weeks, the Cowboys and Atlanta. This Saints team's gotten tons of respect, man. Come on. Like, you can't say that. And I do understand for the networks, when you're putting games in prime time, you want games that are going to be appealing nationally because it's what everybody in the country is going to get. So, like, when Breeze broke the record, they were in prime time. It made a lot of sense. Saints at Vikings was Sunday Night Football. Because obviously you're going back to Minnesota Miracle, all that stuff. The Saints have gotten plenty of respect this year, man. And even yesterday, I was watching. Who was it? It was Rich Eisen who tweeted yesterday, like, Drew Brees is sensational. He is your MVP this year. As of now, whatever. Like, I disagree, man. I think the Saints this year have gotten tons of respect and admiration, and they're at the top of everybody's power rankings, and they are. They are playing in prime time. They're being flexed. They've already been flexed twice. Yeah. Andrew Baird, do you think the Saints go get Brandon Marshall? I saw a report last night from Nick Underhill that they plan to sign him. So, yes, I do. But how about Keith Kirkwood yesterday, coming up with a couple of catches in the first half? That was cool to see. Val Browning, good morning. It says it's hard not to be a homer, but this Saints team is special. There's no doubt they're special. Breeze, it's not being a homer when it's accurate. It's Drew Brees set the completion percentage record last year. He's about to break it. He's had 21 touchdowns and 1 interception. That's absurd. And on top of that, the Saints are leading the NFL in rush defense. Like, remember early in preseason and early in the season, they couldn't figure out their linebacker rotation. Like, they couldn't figure out. They had DeMario Davis playing outside, and they had Alex Anzalone playing inside. And it was like, what are you doing? And now DeMario Davis is a big part of the reason the Saints' rush defense is number 1 in the NFL is DeMario Davis, because the Saints down linemen are eating up blocks, and that dude shoots the gap, and he's been special this year, man. And I'd say the same about Laurinaitis. Oh my God, AJ Klein. When he's managed his way on the field. Manti Te'o was a scratch yesterday. That sucks. But I thought Anzalone played really well. The linebackers is what's been drastically improved. When you think about 2 years ago, Craig Robertson was a leading tackler on this team. This year, he's at best your 5th linebacker. It goes to show you where they recognize their deficiency and upgraded. They're awesome, man. The Saints are awesome. We don't even talk about Will Lutz has made 15 field goals in a row. Thomas Morstead's one of the best punters in the NFL. They've been great in every phase. Devin Steve, purple unis with white lids this Saturday. No, Devin, they're not. I can tell you if you're talking about LSU because it's senior day. And so they on senior day, they want LSU in their traditional home uni. So it'll be, gold pants, white jerseys, gold helmets. And the reason is because the guys take their their pictures on the field, before the game, and they don't want those guys to have that picture forever in an alternate uniform. So they want them in their traditional home whites. Carl Dunn, good morning, Carl the Cat. Brian Robert, today's a paid holiday. Thank you to all the veterans. How about that? I forgot. Well, obviously yesterday was Veterans Day. We talked about it. I forgot that today was the holiday. So are kids off of school and everything? Like my wife had to go to work. She works at a school. But yes, as nationally we commemorate Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to everybody. Kyle Larison, what's up? Catherine Marie, good morning. James Roy, good morning. Are you dancing? Dude, come dance. Come dance. Come dance. Dude, come dance.
Seat.
Oh, don't you run away. Oh. In music show, there's this one where they play this song. It's like the mom is like, doot, 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 doot. And Drew always comes in and he does like this because he wants to dance. And so you just dance with him and spin him. He's like, he's got to come get you when that comes on. Let's see. Andrew Bear bought a few bottles of the Maker Selected Calandros. Good recommendation. Cool, man. Yeah, shoot me a message and let me know what you thought. Like if you're into whiskeys and stuff like that. For those that don't know, we talked about it last week, but so Makers, this is their private select from Calandros. Like it's for those of you who live out of town, it's kind of pointless for me to mention this to you, but you can go to either Calandros. So they go to Maker's Mark. They get a private barrel, a single barrel, and they finish it with their oak staves. So for 9 weeks, these wood staves, finish the whiskey, and they get to pick which ones they want. So that's basically their own concoction of sorts. You literally can't get it anywhere else. So if you're into different things, so this had 5 baked American puree, 3 roasted French mocha, and 2 toasted French spice. They actually have the staves over there at the Calandros on Perkins, but you can see on the label right there, it tells you what's in it, like what staves it was finished with. So they call it the Nilla Bomb. You get a super sweet flavor right when it hits your palate, and it has a very long, full finish with a little spice to it. I like it a lot. It's really, really good. It's about $75 if you're into spending that, but it's really, really good. Seat. Let's see. Justin Beard, good morning. Let's see. What's this? Catherine said, can't wait for December 23rd. What's December 23rd? What am I missing? Fresh Market. But really go to Calandros so you can get that Makers, right? Hey, bud. Hey, Drew. I have a question for you. Today, you don't know this, but today, normally we do it on Fridays, but today, you are gonna go see Miss Gayla and Mimi. Not Momo. Hey, Drew, can you sing Happy Birthday for everybody?
Home Depot.
No, not Home Depot. Got him. All them times he got me with filters, I got him this time. Yeah. UCBO, what's up, man? Sharon, what's up? Trey Dykes, what are the Saints' vulnerabilities? At times, pass defense. But Eli, you know what? Eli Apple, I thought. All right, so you notice in that first game, are you dancing? This is how he dances. Watch. Show me. Hey, show. Oh. Hey, show me how you dance. Drew. Oh, God. Sorry. So in his first game, they picked on Eli Apple. And yesterday, man, I thought he played really well. Man, he would have had the interception in the end zone, but he collided. Who is it? Was it Marcus Williams? Collided with him. Happy birthday to you. But anyway. So, that and that they're thin at receiver, but they're trying to address that. Tim, will Marshall fit in with the Saints? I mean, as long as you show up and shut up, I mean, this offense is humming, bro. Everyone gets theirs. So, I mean, and the other part of it too, man, if you're a veteran like Brandon Marshall, you know, you've had a good career, but you haven't won before, and you get to walk into the locker room with a team that's 8-1, it's won 8 straight, it's the best team in the NFL, it's got good culture. You got one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL throwing you the football. Bro, just shut up and don't screw it up, right? I mean, it's so hard for me to imagine guys coming into the Saints right now and screwing it up, you know. Brian, he can't believe the Titans beat him. Yeah. Jordan, watch out for KC. I'll put it to you this way. KC this year reminds me of the Rams last year. Rams offense wide open, scored a ton. People were impressed. They got into the postseason at home against a veteran quarterback in Matt Ryan, and Ryan beats him. I mean, let me see Mahomes do it, bro. I'm not saying he can't, not saying he won't. Let me see him do it. Corey Messina, good morning. Craig, say who dat. Craig, I'll get him to say who dat when he comes back in. Cheryl, Drew's vocabulary is really improving. Thanks for sharing him with us. My pleasure, Cheryl. Thank you for supporting him. And he, like, it's so true. He verbally has just taken off the last 2 months. It's so fun, and he's so happy too, because he used to get very, very frustrated when he couldn't communicate. Like, one of the only words he knew was more. It's one of the first things they teach you. And so, like, if he had something on TV and he wanted something different, he couldn't express to us what he wanted. So he would just come and say more, and then we'd have to guess. And so we'd guess like anything we could think of, and he would just more, and then he'd get more and more frustrated. But part of the reason that you hear him like laugh and he's happy is because he can express what he wants, and we know what he wants. So it's sorry anyway, but yes, thank you, Cheryl. VK Jones, what's up, dude? Jacob Hawks, good morning. Go Sox. Brian Robert, how much more can we talk about LSU offense? Move on, people. It's not going to change. The next topic. Mark Allen, Michael Kivlin. I'll tell you what, man. I would look forward. All right, next year. Year 2 under Ensminger. Year 2 with Burrow as a starter. You expect he'll get better. You're going to have all of your receivers back. So you'd have another year of rapport with all those guys in this offense. And you're going to add some super talented running backs. You know, with Ty Davis, I think they're going to get John Emery. You know, hopefully Chase and Marshall advance and they can become an integral part next year. You know what I mean? So maybe next year it's a little better. I'm trying to be optimistic. Jesse McGraw, let's see, Matt, if LSU goes 10-2 with this team, does that change your opinion of Coach O as a head coach? I think he's already exceeded the expectation that I had. But it's not just – but understand like where they were a year ago, right? Blown up by Mississippi State. They lost to Troy, lost the bowl game. But it's not just, you know, those Saturdays in the fall. Like, you've got to be able to recruit. You've got to be able to assemble your roster properly. You've got to be able to hire good coaches and maintain continuity on the staff. Like, the Matt Canada thing last year is a big red flag. The fact that you didn't sign a quarterback last year is a big red flag. The fact that you swung and missed on Pat Surtain when he was a longtime LSU lean and you didn't get a cornerback. I mean, you're lucky. Think about it. You're lucky Christian Fulton was eligible this year. Otherwise, you'd have been in a world of hurt. I mean, we were talking. Remember, we were talking in the summer like Terrence Alexander needed to be, might be the guy, the grad transfer from Stanford. He's not even on the field. You know what I mean? You got to replace Cole Tracy next year, y'all. I mean, think about that's scary. Like, without Cole, I don't think you definitely don't beat Auburn, and Mississippi State's probably because you play that game conservatively, knowing that Cole will just keep making field goals all day. So I mean, point is like I don't think, to answer your question, Jesse, I don't think one game ever should be a referendum on a program as a whole, like win or lose. You can have highs and lows, and you can get. It's not to say you can't get excited about wins or disappointed about losses, but one game should never be a referendum on a program as a whole. I don't know that one season is a referendum on a coach as a whole, but this has been like last year was terrible. It was. It was like on field and off. And in spite of all of that, they steadied this year. They've had a really nice season. But I also don't think that anybody's convinced that this offense is where it needs to be able to compete. I don't think losing 29-0 to Bama gives anybody any comfort. I guess the question is, like, how much closer do you feel you are to competing? And for a championship, and I don't think they are. And that's the problem. You know what I mean? But better than he was at Ole Miss. It's obvious. I mean, he's got better players, got better resources, and all that stuff. He inherited a better situation. But yeah, actually, what he inherited at Ole Miss wasn't terrible. Cutcliffe had the great season in 2003 when LSU beat him, and then they stepped back in 2004 after Eli left, and they fired him, which was stupid. But as you've seen, Cutcliffe's a good coach. Anyway, just because the offense isn't going to change doesn't mean it shouldn't. I agree with you, Jacob. Let's see. Willie Elias, LSU A&M game is very dangerous for LSU. Totally agree. Talked about it. Will next week also. The one thing that A&M does not do well is defend the pass, and that's the one. Like, A&M runs the ball, they can throw it. They are really good against the run. They can't defend the pass, and haven't against anybody all year. And LSU doesn't throw it. That's a problem. Mark Allen, this LSU offense gets no respect. He put laughing emojis. I couldn't say it with a straight face. Yeah. Catherine, Steelers and Saints need to be a night game instead of a late afternoon game. That's going to be a fun one too, man. Watch those two offenses go at it. Let's see. I believe the Saints have 1 noon kickoff left. All the rest are prime time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Prime time or the game of the week, the afternoon slot. Rick Hout, good morning. Jennifer Good morning. Matthew Shelley, good morning. Justin Dupuy, Joe Cunningham. Got about 5 more minutes, y'all. I should have mentioned the Steelers. Josh Harding, everyone keeps saying we have a New Year's Six Bowl ahead of us, but what do we expect the result to be with this offense? Those teams have equal talent. Depends who you play. I mean, what if they play, Josh, let's say hypothetically they go to the Peach Bowl and play UCF. Like LSU defensively, he's in there. LSU defensively should be fine regardless against any of those teams they play. And you give them a month to prepare offensively, LSU could probably make some hay. Now, if they end up like in the Sugar Bowl playing Oklahoma, Oklahoma's defense is terrible, but their offense is really good. I wonder if LSU could hold up against them for 4 quarters. Or it'd be a game, offensively like what Bama was able to do. Dad show. Hey, listen, everybody wants to hear you say who. Can you say who dat?
Who dat?
Who dat? Hey, listen to me. Drew, listen. Drew. Here you go. Down. Whoops, we're falling over, y'all. Sorry. All right, about to wrap this up, y'all. Sorry, but it's Monday. Got to get to my Monday morning meeting. Working for the man, and the man is Gordy Rush. Okay, y'all. We'll bid you adieu. Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix, Margarita Mix, boudreauxmix.com. Y'all do me a solid. Check it out, boudreauxmix.com. You can order those. So if you watch outside of Baton Rouge, they'll ship to you. In Baton Rouge, you got it at Calandro's, Calvin's, Mid-City Craft Wine and Brew, Canada's down in Homa, and then boudreauxmix.com. Morning Scone Daily email is rolling, so if you don't subscribe yet, please do so. It's totally free. You'll get an email from me every day, 6 a.m., with headlines, blog posts, vlogs, podcasts, links to articles you might find interesting. Totally 100% free, and you can reply to those emails, and I get them. It's just, you'll get the email from morningscone.com. You're mad at morningscone.com. AFR today at 3. Locked On Podcast resumes today. I'll get in there and record it after the Monday morning meeting. That's good stuff. So we'll see y'all tomorrow for Morning Scone. Later.